Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 22 wins in a row. Probably won't start with Sacred Heart this time, but just kidding unless. Sevs, okay, perhaps I will. I don't know. How's this run looking? I gotta tell you, 1.12 speed feels blistering. I feel like I'm running in the 90s. I think I've asked this question before, but in the initial D song, Running in the 90s, are they talking about running in the 90s as far as like miles per hour? Because I gotta be honest, for kilometers, that's not really that impressive. Are they talking about running in the 90s for miles per hour, which is pretty fast? Or are they talking about running in the 90s like, hey, it's the 1990s and we're running? Does anybody know? Does anybody care? Is anybody listening? It's all good either way. Truly classic song. Also great for meme potential. This run is, so far, totally fine. It's got some glaring, potentially, let's not say catastrophic, but dangerous future issues. By the way, I'm just realizing, should probably start using the boomerang to actually capture some consumables that otherwise might be inaccessible. This room highlights some of the weaknesses of this run, quite frankly. Not the best use of boomerang, but I wanted to get out in front of this, right? Or not the best use of the battery, I should say. Really, damage is good, rate of fire is trash. And I'm not afraid to, you know, if I love something, I say that I love it, even if it's not great in game context. If I think something, I'm giving you my honest opinion, whether my opinion, you know, lines up with the facts. Oh, you fool! After all that, is really open for debate, I suppose. Shard of Glass. That's cut off their new album, Blondie, Shard of Glass. Take it away. I may try it. Oh, baby. This is huge. For the Golden Bomb, is normally pretty okay. Or, like, truly incredible. But here is amazing because it saves me from having to shoot every single one of these poops. Instead, might shoot a couple just to save a little time there, but we can actually just blow them all up. If you blow up a poop, does it not have a chance to give you money? That seems unlikely, but who knows, I suppose. Definitely we will. I mean, an unlimited bomb plus the Spelunker's hat is pretty solid. That's in theory, if it could provide me with anything useful at all, that'd be pretty solid. But you know what? I'm taking it. All right. We know that there's a full health in the rotation. Actually, very stoked indeed to see that we have an Emperor card. We could use that to maybe minimize our odds of screwing up a deal with the devil. Although now with the Hierophant, we probably don't have much to worry about in that department to begin with. We are going to get enough money for an arcade to possibly spawn as well. We really, like, the only thing I want to see is a Tears upgrade. This is a great boss to be fighting with a Golden Bomb. There we go. Alright, we'll get to banter in a minute. It's just, you know, this one is, anytime you got a low rate of fire, I like to think that my let's go. My banter ability scales quite nicely with the game's tier effect. So we're gonna immediately pretty much pop the Emperor card here just to see if we can expedite this whole deal with the devil process. Check this out. Ooh, a little double bomb. 2-for-1 plum special. Who is your favorite actor or actress whose filmography, oh my word, of course we're taking it, whose filmography is actually pretty bad? I'm going to posit some answers for you, okay? And I think there's a lot of potential good ones. One would be, and by the way, every single one of the actors I'm going to name has a movie that is the exception to the rule. You're going to be like, what about Stranger Than Fiction? What about, you know, Everything Must Go? What about the Royal Tenenbaums? The Royal Tenenbaums might apply for a couple of these, for the record. I just mean, like, you know, one movie does not an oeuvre make. Just ask Barry Levinson with the Addams Family. I don't know why I keep ragging on Barry Levinson, but just keeps popping into my head and then not letting go. Here's a couple potential examples. Adam Sandler. Average tomato meter or tomatometer, pretty low. However, very well liked for Saturday Night Live, the Hanukkah song, Lunch Ladyland, and then, depending on your age, probably 3 to 5 movies from the 1990s and early 2000s, consisting of Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, The Waterboy, 50 First Dates, and maybe Little Nicky, but that one is, like, also pretty bad. You also have Will Ferrell, who I find extremely, you know, I was going to say personable, but I think that implies I've met him, which is not the case. He declined my offer to start a show, Comedians on Bicycles, getting biscotti. In fact, he sent back a very strongly worded email that said, actually, it's biscotto, if there's only one of them. And I said, but there's 2 of us. And he said, not in my world. And I said, wow. What a jerky thing to say. But anyway, again, a lot of Saturday Night Live actors kind of factor in here. Beloved for Saturday Night Live, maybe Night at the Roxbury, and then, of course, you got, you know, as Mugatu in Zoolander, semi-pro Anchorman. Anchorman's the big one, of course. Eurovision Song Contest that just came out. You know what I'm getting at. Also been in some good stuff. Stranger Than Fiction. That's, I mean, there's others, I'm sure. I'm not trying to be rude. Really, I accused Will Ferrell of rudeness, and then I'm being rude. I don't know. It's not rude to say that you don't enjoy somebody's work, in my opinion. At least, you know, if I met him in person, I wouldn't be like, you're my favorite actor. But I'd be like, I think you're really funny, which is true. What I would not say is, you know, hey, I thought Semi-Pro was hilarious. I would be like, let's not talk about it. You know, good fences make for good neighbors. Anyway, you know I'm going for it. I love diagonal walking. I think the sensible approach is to go spirit, heart, heavy. That seems pretty good too. I can live with that. I can live with this. And I will find it very hard to die with this, I think, which is really the idea. I think there's other options, you know, as well. I'm trying to think of some others. I think Jack Black comes up a lot. Jack Black has been in some very good movies. Tropic Thunder, School of Rock, Bernie. He's been in some movies, and I mean, depending on how you feel about Tenacious D, probably the Tenacious D movie would apply as well. I've previously called Jack Black perhaps one of the most gifted entertainers of our time. I wouldn't necessarily describe him as a truly fantastic actor, but I think in dramatic roles he's been pretty good. Like in Bernie, which is not really dramatic, it's kind of like darkly comic, but I think he's a talented man. His oeuvre of films is not incredible. You know what's messed up? Like, if you give me a shop with an item in it, I will not buy it. 90% of the time, I'll be like, that's not good enough. If you make it a question mark, I'm like, I'm all in. Could be anything. I don't know. I feel like Jack Black might be my answer. But I'm sure there's other ones that are like, you know, Ed Helms. I mean, what has Ed Helms? He's in The Hangover. He's in Cedar Rapids, which is fine. He's in the Vacation remake. and We're the Millers. That's a pretty stunted oeuvre of films. Not, I mean, he's also in all of the Hangovers, but you get what I mean. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other examples, too. I'm sure there are opposite examples as well. Like, actors who are... Their oeuvre is pretty good, but I just don't enjoy them that much. It's not like I mean, it's more the filmmaker's responsibility, I suppose. We got Jesus Juice. I think we do not take it, quite frankly. And I think we get the heck out of town. Take me to a floor where there's no curse. Yeah, I can't really think of an example, so I don't know. Forget that one. Anyway, Jack Black, Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller. He's been in enough good arty stuff that I feel like he's transcended dumb comedy. But I do also need to say that I think if we're talking about I think if we're talking about the worst films ever made, I genuinely think Zoolander 2, as far as like, because there's movies that people like made, you know, in their university basement when Mouth came over for, you know, a weekend, that went on to become one of the highest rated short films in IMDb's history. But like, we're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about major Hollywood motion pictures. Zoolander 2 may well be in the running for the worst movie ever made, under those unique specifications, in my opinion. If you've never seen Zoolander 2, I recommend it just for sport, you know? I will admit, I've never seen the third Dumb and Dumber. I quite like Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumberer When Harry Met Lloyd is an unbelievable slap in the face and proof that you have to be at least a little smart to write a dumb comedy. And when they made, I don't even remember what Dumb and Dumberer 2 is called, or Dumb and Dumber 2. It might just be called Dumb and Dumber 2. Either way, I just felt bad for everybody involved. It's like they've been asked for like years to do a sequel. They finally did it when they were in their early 50s. It's just... yeah, it just makes you feel for them, right? But I don't know, maybe... did it win Best Picture? I don't know. I didn't watch the Oscars that year, because I don't really watch the Oscars any year, I think. To the best of my recent memory. I watched them in 2000... I guess it would be early 2011. But that was more of a situation where, like, I lived in Korea, and I went to, like, our principal's housewarming party, and the Oscars just happened to be on. I remember Black Swan won. And I was like, I should see that. Still, it's been almost a decade. Have not seen it. Heard great things. Haven't gotten around to it yet. So we are going to take the Forget Me Now here. Because I'm doing the little things right, you know? Even though we're destined to get the dub here. This is a nice situation to kind of double down and maybe see if we can take it to the next level. You never know, right? With Goathead, of course, is a distinct advantage. We got a real, actual Guppy chance. Hey. This is interesting. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, let's move on here. Anyway, today is Friday. I'm pretty excited. We got, in just a few hours here, we got a little, oh, we've already seen that. That's right. In just a few hours here, we got, our prenatal baby class is starting. So, I still don't fully know what it entails. But I'll tell you one thing I do like, no required textbook. That's where they get you. But at the same time, is there anything worse than going to class on day one of like a college class and your professor goes, hey, you don't need the textbook, but you already bought it because you were in like a mood where you were like, I'm going to get ahead and maybe study a little bit. You know, I'm going to make sure I got everything I need. No more procrastinating. And then all of a sudden you're like, man, I just spent $222 on this textbook. That's alright, I'll just sell it back to the campus bookstore for 90 cents! Are you what? Come on. I don't see it. I just don't see it. It's a scam. It's a ripoff is what it is. But I'm excited for that. Haven't really I mean today I worked out this morning. Still haven't gone back to the gym because cases are kind of rising and it's a very convenient excuse to use. But I've been working out at home and, you know, cranking up the intensity a little bit. But I should get back to it. But, you know, it's just kind of a weird time with the, you know, the pandemic and the pregnancy. The two big P's in my life right now. Phrasing, maybe we could work on there. But yeah, I've still been doing a little working out. And then, like, a thing that's been happening a lot lately is we get a ton of deliveries. If you watch like other series in particular, and it probably has happened during Isaac, I just can't remember, but like I'll boot up a Monster Train run and play one card and then it's like ding dong, and then I go and I see what it is and they're like, hey, it's a crib and a stroller and a bassinet, and I'm like, alright. So then after I finish the Monster Train episode, I'm doing like a little assembly. So today Kate and I put together the stroller and the bassinet. It's pretty, honestly, the user manual for this bassinet and stroller, by the way, you might be wondering, what's a bassinet? It's like, a bassinet is just it's a basket you can carry an infant in, or a small pet, I suppose. And it also, for some situations, the bassinet can like clip into a stroller. So you can easily go from like, you know, big stroller to, you know, more agile, kind of just carrying this baby around. The user manual for the bassinet is better, and I think really the build quality is better than our car. I say that without a single hint of irony. I believe it is plastic, but I'll admit, part of it is plastic at least, but when I open it up, there's a scent of real leather. I was surprised. It was like a rich mahogany overwhelmed me. But yeah, so I also, I've started part-time work as basically a warehouse receiver. A large truck pulls up to our domicile. Great deal with the devil here. A large truck pulls up to our domicile, and I go, hey, back it up, and then a ramp comes out, and it's like baby gadgets and cloths and clothes, and I'm not complaining. I mean, you gotta get it. I would rather, and really, I'm complaining about nothing, because, like, my wife shopped for it all, which means that I got saved the time of having to shop for it, and she can get whatever she wants. And it really streamlines the whole process for me in a huge way. So if anything, I'm glad that it's happening and happened independent of my need to weigh in on like, well, these are the wrong blankets. I'm not really that kind of guy. Yo, let's go. That's big. That's fine. And on top of that, it's not happening like ad hoc, you know what I mean? Maybe not, because it's the weirdest term you could use to describe it. I like that we have this stuff well in advance. You know, obviously some stuff you gotta have right away. But even for some of the stuff you don't have to have right away, right now, I think realistically I look at myself and I go, it's probably like the least stressed out and the most time I'm gonna have for a while. Maybe forever. So if you can like do things now that will pay it forward for you later, that seems very, very smart and sensible. You'll thank yourself. So getting this stuff well in advance, especially because I didn't even have to do anything except, you know, pay off the credit card balance. It's a big positive. Okay. We're almost at bookworm territory. I don't know, I think we've got a real chance to possibly get into Boss Rush. Definitely, I'm not going to promise that we're going to do Boss Rush. There's a weird kind of thing in Isaac, right? Where it's like the more strong you are, the stronger you are. No? The less you need to do Boss Rush, but the more likely you're going to make it. This is fun. Let's do this some more. Sure. I don't... That was just idiotic. I don't really think there's a good reason for us to buy remote detonator. And he's holding a thermal detonator. Tell me, who's that? Take a guess. Nerds only, though. You know what's weird is, so as mentioned, I've been watching The Office again while playing a little Riichi Mahjong on the sofa. By the way, how's Riichi Mahjong going? Thank you for asking. Yesterday I came first, second in 3 games in a row. So you can just call me a Kagi. Anyway, I've been watching The Office. One of the things that's very funny for me is season 2 of The Office aired in like 2007, right? I'm pretty sure it aired in my first summer back. Well, maybe from university. Maybe it aired in 2006. But anyway, this is a lot of fun. Dwight is portrayed as being an incredible nerd. It's not his nerdishness that makes him kind of sandpapery, but it's part of his personality. Portrayal of nerd culture in media has always been a little wonky. I always think about, like, you know, Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory. You mean sodium chloride, mother? But it's funny to me that Dwight is considered like a huge turbo nerd in that show for a couple of things. One, he watches Battlestar Galactica. That's just a good show. You don't have to be a nerd to watch Battlestar Galactica. You just have to be from a place that's not Vancouver so you don't get distracted all the time asking why they're running around the public library. The other thing is, on Halloween, he comes to school... School? That's like calling your teacher mom. He comes to work with a lightsaber, a red lightsaber specifically, and wearing a veil, like a cloak. And then people say, who are you supposed to be? And he says, I'm a Sith Lord. That's really, in the whole scheme of things, not that dorky. And I don't even think, I mean, maybe it would have been seen as dorky in like 2006, but I don't know. I also feel like now, if you were wearing a cloak and had a red lightsaber, like 50% of the population would be like, oh, Sith Lord, huh? Just weird how much nerd culture has changed. Like, if don't be mad. If I had to make someone appear like a nerd in a comic way on television in 2020, I definitely would not make them just be a fan of Star Wars. I would probably... I'm trying to think about how to phrase this without aggravating a large portion of people. I would probably make them be really into an anime, but it wouldn't be like one of the big animes, you know? It would be like one of the slightly smaller ones. But I'm not enough into the culture to know. Alright, you know what? Here's a better example. You could have Dwight drive to work, and the first time you see his car, you realize that it has a Hatsune Miku wrap around it. Then you'd be like... That's... Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere in the writer's room. And by the way, if you're... Don't be mad, okay? If you're gonna be like, Hatsune Miku's not for nerds. Buddy, I've been to a Hatsune Miku concert with my wife. It's for nerds. I'm not saying they're not also cool people, but... I was not... Definitely when I was there, I was like, this is Nerd City, and I'm the mayor. Anyway, let me just put it this way. I got recognized, so it's Nerd City. But you could totally write this episode up. Oh, who's that girl on your card, Dwight? That's not a girl. It's Hatsune Miku. She's a Vocaloid. And then it cuts to the interview. Vocaloids are superior because they can sing notes that human beings can't even perceive of. Like this. And then you just, He could play either a sample or even he could try to sing it himself. It would be a funny joke that would probably lead to a lot of angry forum posts, but you know, it was the goal of your show to make people laugh or to avoid angry forum posts. Exactly. Bears beat Mania. Battlestar Galactica. So that's pretty much what my life has been like. I'm watching some Office, you've been cooking some food. We got baby class, not sure if I mentioned that. Oh, there's a tinted rock. Talk about angry forum posts. 2 keys, little man. Put that stuff in my hand. I don't even know, I guess we just want golden chests now. We already have, we can open any locked door with a single penny. Thanks to a YouTube video we watched. That's pretty much where we're at. We got baby class on Saturday as well. But I mean, you know, this is my newfound wake up early philosophy. Our baby class is at 10 a.m. It's done at 1. It's like we got the whole freaking day. There's something beautiful, and don't get me wrong, I love getting enough sleep. It's one of the best things you could possibly do. But, you know, if you normally wake up at, like, let's say you normally wake up at 9. If something forces you to get up at 6, that period between 6:01 and 8:59 is like stolen life. That's the way I think about it sometimes. I remember, like, in last spring, when I was still making an honest effort to keep up with F1 despite living in the worst time zone globally for it, I woke up on like a Saturday at like 5:45 or 6 a.m. just because I couldn't sleep well. And I was like, oh, at least I can watch, you know, practice 3 and maybe qualifying. Or I don't know, I guess it was just qualifying. It ended up not being on because if you want to watch motorsports in Canada, even at 5 a.m., you have to purchase TSN 5, which is, you know, like ESPN 8 to Ocho. I think this is probably worth it. Get me out of here. But then, like, from 6 a.m. till the time that I normally woke up, I was like, I can do whatever I want. And not even feel, like, bad about it at all. Now, the flip side is you'll probably be a little tired earlier. So you got to build that into your day a little bit. But still, I mean, we normally wake up well before 10 a.m., so it's not, like, free time. But still, finishing something... Tonight's class runs 5 to 8. Okay, 5 to 8 is like, by the time it's over, we're done. What are we gonna do? We're not gonna go out and party. It's COVID, idiot. Plus, we're having a kid. And it wouldn't be too much fun for Kate. Hey, Kate, you wanna go bar hopping tonight? Put your mask on, honey. I'm getting drunk. Not a sensible idea. Not that I'd be interested in the first place. But you know, 8 p.m. is. When you're in your 30s, 8 p.m. is really when if you haven't eaten already, 8 p.m. is like the alarm bells start ringing. We gotta eat right away. It's 8. By the time we decide what to eat, it'll be 8:10. At 8:10, we might go to a restaurant or order takeout. It's gonna take between 30 minutes to an hour to arrive. We're talking about it's almost 9 then. It's gonna take us 20 minutes to eat it. Then I gotta shave it. Then I gotta, and then I gotta squib, and then I gotta, and you know, like by the time you're like, I'm not able to go to bed until it's 5 in the morning. So we gotta eat right now. You know, that's how it feels sometimes. But okay, there was some broken modem shenanigans going on in there. But if you finish at 1, the world's your oyster. You can do whatever you want. I am interested to see how my sleep schedule changes with this child. Probably should start calling it my child, but you know, it's a little humor involved on this show from time to time. Deliberately so. Certainly, I'm under no delusion I will be sleeping less. But I'm also like, does a kid naturally... I mean, like, I know that circadian rhythms are a thing, but does a kid naturally go to bed early, wake up early? Here's the way I understand babies. They basically sleep, like, all the time, and yet when you want them to sleep, you can't, like, get them to sleep, right? But I believe that, I mean, we've been watching these like baby YouTube videos. People were like, you should really try to make sure that your baby and your infant, not just, you know, newborn, but you should try to make sure that your newborn child sleeps like every 3 or 4 hours. Which I did not know. I kind of thought it was like they were like a senior citizen. Like they would wake up and then maybe like nap and then sleep at night. I didn't realize that kind of the day was a split like that. I think we're more than one item away from becoming Guppy, so... You know what? Hit me with a per throw. Not good enough. Not gonna do it. I think I will not have a sleep schedule. That's my honest appraisal of where I think I'm gonna be at. I think I will have times that I'm asleep and times that I'm awake, but you will not be able to set your watch to it for quite some time. And that's fine. But I also wonder if this isn't the genesis of me becoming a morning person. I don't think I have ever met an adult who wakes up after 9 a.m. that had children. I have, like, my aunt and uncle who do not have kids, they're like 10, 11 a.m. risers sometimes. To the best of my awareness, at least. It's not like I'm there when it happens. They don't have kids. Every other person that I've ever talked to or, like, has talked to me about it, they're like, after you have kids, your body is just going to wake you up at, like, 5:01 a.m. every day. We'll see. I'm not fighting against it. If that's the natural way of things, then so be it. I really do. I consider myself like a disguised morning person. I really like the morning time. I'm just also sometimes... I mean, here's the thing. It's like my favorite time is sleeping. My second favorite time is the morning. So if you're gonna have me go from morning to sleep, or from sleep to morning, that's tough. That's still a downgrade. But if I could go from like night to morning and still, that's not what I really wanted here, and still get enough sleep, I'd be stoked. Please stop picking up all these items. Okay, so I think we want Ipecac and then to suck these 6 items up. I don't know if what I just said made any sense at all, by the way, but I consider myself a disguised morning person. I am not a night owl anymore. I will say I like all times of the day. I really actually do not enjoy being awake from like 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. Morning's great, you know, you have a cup of coffee, get your day started. Especially, like, a leisurely morning is beautiful. A morning where you gotta rush can be frustrating and stressful, right? But a morning where you got nothing to do, you know, maybe you're on vacation, you know, you wake up, or you just, you know, it's a Saturday, you wake up and you're like, I could get up right away. It's win-win. If you do something right away, you're having a fun and productive and busy day off, or full of recreation, maybe. Or at least things that have got to get done. If you wake up late, you're like, whatever, it's a Saturday, guess my body needed it. I love the afternoon. Lunch is probably my favorite meal of the day. A lot of people say breakfast. I get it. You watch Scrubs. Congrats. What's it like to hold a PhD in comedy? It doesn't exist because I haven't opened my university yet. And then, you know, the evening, especially like the post-work hours, you know, where you get to like sigh and let all your stress off as much as possible. Like, these are nice times, right? But if I'm awake between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m., something's gone terribly wrong. There's an earthquake or, you know, I mean, I don't really need to get into the specifics. You can imagine what kind of things would wake you up or keep you up. This is how much I'm annoyed with this room. So I would say the late night is probably just like my least favorite time. Which is it's character growth. Didn't used to be like that. But I mean, the only episodes we have now are like, hey, baby class is coming. Hey, the grocery store. And then also, like, why I like waking up a little bit early. But I don't have that much going on right now, okay? We're working on it. The anecdote-rich time is going to be the autumn. I'm still staying inside pretty frequently because of the whole pandemic. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. That's 23 wins in a row. How about that? Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you next time. See ya!